Hey guys, welcome to Bollywood Bubble. My name is Rohan Kumar Rai. 9th August 2002, there was a film called Mujhse Dosti Karoge. Hrithik Roshan, Kareena Kapoor and Rani Mukerji. And it's been a good 14 years and the film still has its fans intact. And today with me is the captain of that ship, Mr. Kunal Kohli. Thank you so much for talking to us. It's a pleasure. Sir, पहले मौका नहीं मिला, अभी पूछ लेता हूँ. सर, मुझसे दोस्ती करेंगे आप?
देखूंगा, सोचूंगा, कल परसों कुछ कहूँगा.
आप वैसे भी जल्दी मिलते नहीं है तो इसलिए मैंने पूछ लिया अभी. So, मुझसे दोस्ती करोगे. 14 years, it's completed. You've completed 14 years in Bollywood. How does it feel?
Mixed emotions, very exciting. Somewhere I feel bad that the film didn't do as well in the box office as we expected it to do. But surprisingly, it's done very well on television. Over the years, people have liked the film more than when it was released. It did very well in the overseas market, which was really good for us. But when you say it didn't do well, I'll just give you some numbers, which I'm just remembering now. एक पिक्चर आई थी साथिया, तो उन दिनों में ऑल इंडिया फिगर्स नहीं आते थे ऑन द कलेक्शंस ऑफ मुंबई वुड बी व्हाट द फिल्म वुड बी जज्ड. मुंबई टेरिटरी, नॉट मुंबई सिटी. सो मुंबई टेरिटरी में साथिया had done a business which is considered a very big hit film of about 3 crores 15 lakhs or 3 crores 20 lakhs. Mujhse Dosti Karoge, which was considered a flop at that time, did a business of 3 crores 50 lakhs. And it was considered a flop. Okay. So, it happens like that in life. Sometimes you can't help it. Okay. But we were obviously very shaken up when the film didn't do well. We said, yaar, ye kya ho gaya? Then we started getting reports that UK mein bahut achhi kar rahi hai. And in UK, even till today, films don't do the business it did. It did in those days close to £1 million. It did about £877,000. Wow. Which even today films struggle to reach that number. Wow. And at that time it was very difficult to cross even 500. In fact, Hum Tum, which was a bigger hit, perception-wise, did £550,000 in the UK, but Mujhse Dosti Karoge did 877.
And was still technically on paper.
And technically on paper, still a flop film. And for very long, it was Hrithik's biggest solo hit. Till I think, I don't remember which film came and beat it, but it did more than Kaho Na Pyar Hai also. In the UK.
Koi Mil Gaya? Was it Koi Mil Gaya that beat it after that?
Yeah, Koi Mil Gaya must have beaten it. Okay. Koi Mil Gaya then went into 1.2 million or 1.4 million or something like that in the UK. But anyway, what's good is that there are a lot of fans about the for the film. What's really heartwarming is that the music of the film still lives on.
Oh, yes.
Almost every day when I'm changing stations while driving in the car, I hear the songs playing somewhere or the other. Andekhi Anjani Si still plays. Yeah. Mujhse Dosti Karoge title song still plays. Jaane Dil Mein Kab Se Hai Tu still plays. So it's really nice, when you're suddenly just driving somewhere and your song comes on the radio. And Rahul Sharma was the music director. It was his first film as well. Okay. In fact, his last film, I think. He didn't do a film after that. He's concentrating more on his Santoor. He's, of course, a maestro on the Santoor. But I just wish Rahul does some more films because for any film's music to survive over a decade, nowadays you forget music next year. Correct. Forget a decade. Or by the end of the year, you say, अच्छा ये picture आई थी, उसका ये गाना बहुत hit हुआ था. अरे कौन सा गाना था यार? That's what happens. And now it's been over a decade and people still remember the Mujhse Dosti Karoge music and still play it on radio stations. So that's a good feeling.
Okay, so you spoke about, listening to songs and the nostalgia. So let's get a little more nostalgic. 14 years back, we'd like to know, aap Yash ji se kaise mile? How did you, go about meeting him, narrating the story and the whole thing? If you could just tell us.
Okay, so Mujhse Dosti Karoge actually happened thanks to Karan Johar. So I was interviewing Karan Johar for my show Chalo Cinema. And I told him I have a subject. I made him hear the subject. He didn't like it. Okay. And he gave me a subject, which at that time was called Kangan. And he wasn't making it. And he said, you can take the subject if you want. So it was just a few lines and the basic story idea. And I loved the subject. I started writing it. And then I went back to Karan and I said, now here's the subject. And he liked it. And he said, okay, let me make you meet Adi Chopra. And I said, I'd love to meet Adi Chopra, but for what? So he said, because he wants to sign outside filmmakers to work in his company. So I said, okay, great. And I was, at that time, signed with another producer, actually. Now it's 14 years, I can say the whole story. So I was signed with another producer, and for some reason, we were not gelling. Okay. Though today we are best friends. Today, me and that guy are best friends, but at that time, we were not gelling. And so I went to Adi, and Adi said that, okay, till the time you're signed with another producer, I can't even hear your subject. I said, okay, so are you going to sign me? He said, maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
Okay.
You have too many negatives. I said, what the hell are my negatives? He said, I want new directors, not someone who's so known by the public. I said, yaar, isme kya farak padta hai? Anyway, that's Adi Chopra. So then I went back to my producer, gave him back his check, which in those days was a huge amount. This we're talking about 2001.
2001.
Okay, 1 year before the film.
Okay.
So this is 2001. So I'd got a signing amount of some 10 lakhs or something. So I gave back the check of 10 lakhs in those days. And I went to Adi and said, okay, I've given back the check. Now do you want to hear my subject? He said, you know that I might not sign you. I said, okay, theek hai, I know you might not sign me, but I've taken the risk.
Okay.
So then we started working on the subject. He had some changes. We started working this, that and the other. And finally one day I was called to the office and they gave me a contract. I didn't even read the contract. I just signed. Nowadays people have 80-page contracts and 100-page contracts. I had a 2-page contract. 2-page contract which I didn't even bother reading. So all throughout my career with Yash Raj, I never read the contract. I never called a lawyer.
Okay.
I was just so happy to work with Adi and with Yashji. I just signed wherever they told me to sign. Never once negotiated money because money was not important. The fact that I was working for Yashji and for Adi was more important to me. So, but then I signed on the dotted line with Adi for 3 films. I would have signed for 30 if you asked me to. And then we just started working. So that's why if you see on the first frame of Mujhse Dosti Karoge, it says, thank you, Karan Johar.
Right.
So because Karan was the one who made me meet Adi. And Karan, also the story goes, because why Karan made me meet Adi was because Yash Johar ji was very close to me. I was very close to him. I met him while I was working with Bhatt Saab in some video magazines called Bollywood Plus. So we were under a company called Plus Channel. So I was working in that and I met Yash Johar ji there. And we got along very well. So, and he is one of the nicest people you can ever meet. So Yashji Johar used to speak very nicely about me to Karan. And that's why Karan made me meet Adi.
Wow.
I also knew Yashji just little bit because I'd interviewed him once or twice or something. I'd gone to buy some film clips for another show of mine called Kya Scene Hai. So I'd gone to buy some film clips from Yash Raj or get permission from them. So like that I'd met Yashji, but never really worked with him. Then, so Karan was the one who actually is responsible for Mujhse Dosti Karoge happening. And so then Adi and me started working together and then he signed me. And then we decided to go to Hrithik.
Okay.
To approach him for the title role, for the main role. And we went to Hrithik and we were really nervous because Kaho Na Pyar Hai had become a blockbuster. He had just signed Surat Barjatia's film, Subhash Ghai's film. Vinod Chopra's film he had signed before the release of Kaho Na Pyar Hai. So he had signed, and the entire industry, every director was going to narrate a subject to Hrithik.
Correct.
And he had signed 2 legends ka films. And here me, one newcomer, was going to make him hear a subject. And I made him hear the subject. And I finished the last scene. And he said, I'm on.
Wow.
He said, I'm on.
Okay.
And he called up Adi and said, I'm on. I was like, okay. I went back to the office. We were both celebrating. Hrithik said yes. Then we get a call from Mr. Hrithik Roshan saying, everything is fine. But I want to hear the subject. So we panicked a bit. We said, why? He said, no, because Dugu never says yes so fast. So, and he's really praising the subject. So I just want to hear what is the subject Kunal has got. I want to hear it.
Okay.
And he said that Kunal narrates really well. So I want to hear him narrate the subject to me. I said, okay. So I went back to the Roshan household and narrated to Mr. Rakesh Roshan. He also loved the subject. Said, okay, go on. Then, of course, then we went to Bebo and to Rani and,
So Hrithik was obviously the first choice for the film.
Yeah.
And then Kareena and Rani were also the first choices for the film?
Yeah, they were. Kareena and Rani were the first choices. We always wanted Bebo to play Tina and Rani to play Pooja.
Okay.
That was our first choice, always.
Okay.
And we fortunately got our first choice. And the one thing that I have to say is that one of the most enjoyable moments of the film was working with Bakshi Saab.
Achha.
It was one of the last films he did. And Bakshi Saab's style of working was he would come in his shorts, shorts and t-shirt, and he would come to the Gadda room. There was a Gadda room in Yashji's house where all the music sittings used to happen. And I would narrate to him till one point of the song. and I mean till the song, and then he would go back, and then he would think about the song, and then come back next day with what he had written, or after a few days. For Jaane Dil Mein Kab Se Hai Tu, we didn't like anything for almost a week. Every day he would come with something, and every day we would not like what he had written. And I was getting more and more nervous that how do I tell Bakshi Saab that I'm not finding what he's writing appropriate. But he made me so comfortable, and the whole environment was so friendly and warm and comfortable that I could just tell him. I said, "Nahi, Bakshi Saab, maza nahi aa raha."
Okay.
So I would just say it like that. In my first film, one little bloody kid sitting over there telling Anand Bakshi, "Nahi sir, maza nahi aa raha." Sometimes I would think back. I mean, I would look at myself, have an out of body experience. Say, "Listen, you beep beep beep, you're talking to Anand Bakshi." So, but it was great fun. He was just such a lovely person.
Okay.
And then finally one day, after like 4-5, after like a week of telling him that we're not enjoying what he's writing, he came back with this. He said, "Jaane dil mein kab se hai tu, jab se main hu tab se hai tu." And we were like, love it. And he was finally very happy. He said, "Okay, thank God." And then the other thing he did was, so we had a slightly different tune for Mujhse Dosti Karoge title song.
Okay.
कह दो कि तुम मेरे दिल में रहोगे, कह दो कि तुम मुझसे दोस्ती करोगे. So Bakshi साहब said, he said यहाँ पर ना ट्यून थोड़ा बदलना चाहिए. He said इधर लड़की को अंगड़ाई लेके बोलना चाहिए, देखूंगी सोचूंगी कल परसों कुछ कहूंगी. So that part he composed. Just like that, just like sitting like this in the music room. Okay.
Off the hook, absolutely.
Just off the hook. He was thinking, he used to, and nowadays you can't say it, so he used to have a cigarette over here. And he used to smoke like that with the cigarette sticking out from there. So he used to go like that. He said, "Yaar, ye doing like that with the cigarette." He said, "ये थोड़ा अंगड़ाई लेके गाना चाहिए लड़की को, तो इधर धुन थोड़ी बदलनी चाहिए."
Okay.
And he changed the tune right there and there. As he thought of the lines, he changed the tune, and we said, "That's damn good, done."
That works for the film.
That works for the film.
Okay.
So it was a wonderful experience working with Bakshi Saab. Unfortunately, he passed away before the film released, which is why we put the plate at the start of the film, in loving memory of Anand Bakshi. And I went to meet him in the hospital. I think a day or two before he passed away. Still had his spirits high. Still, I mean, wonderful experience. I always thank Adi and Yashji for giving me the opportunity to work with a legend like Anand Bakshi.
Okay. Talking of Yashji himself has made so many romantic films. So did he give any suggestions? Were there any ideas that came from his end? Because at the end of the day, you were making a romantic film with the heartthrob of the nation at that point in time, Hrithik Roshan. So,
well, Yashji would always give his suggestions and then sit back. So one very sweet example of that was we were shooting in Switzerland. And he came up to my assistant and he told him, he said, "Beta, I'm sleeping on this mountain. Okay, if Kunal pans the camera, tell me, I'll get up from there and I'll go and sleep on the other mountain." So he was like that. Okay. He was the funniest, warmest, cutest, most adorable person. Okay. There was a scene where Rani was walking by the lake and we needed some fog. So he was holding the fog machine and putting the fog.
Wow.
So he used to do things like that. I still can't believe he's not there. For me to say he used to is a little hard to, come to terms with that. But so he used to do things like that. In Switzerland, we used to all go together in one bus. Everybody from Yashji, Hrithik, Bebo, Rani, Babita ji was there, Rani's mom was there, right down to the spot boys. Everyone would go in one bus together to the location. They would start doing their makeup, we'd start setting up the shot, and we'd shoot. Today it's very different. Today the unit goes in one bus, the director goes in a car, the actors go in their cars. But for Mujhse Dosti Karoge Switzerland schedule, we all went together. And that was so much fun. And Yashji would just say the funniest things at the strangest moments and just make everyone laugh. Literally like a father figure. Pam Auntie was there for the Switzerland outdoor and for the London outdoor. Okay. And she was really like, she would like mother all of us. And dinner we would all have together. The entire unit would have dinner together in the hotel. So it was really like a family making a film. You know, we never felt like, and I think that was one of the last films that was made like this in Yash Raj also. Because after that, then corporatization took over. Then there were executive producers and line producers, and each one line producer was handling one thing. But Mujhse Dosti Karoge was, I think, the last family-made film in Yash Raj films. Yeah, it was because Paimanti was in charge of the housekeeping, and she would go with the driver every morning and buy groceries and everything and come back. And if by chance we were late for dinner, she would fire us. And, you know, so it was just things like that, which was just so wonderful. And on the last day, wine and all was organized for the rap party. So it was just such a wonderful feeling, you know. And she would ask us, okay, so do you want something special for dinner, or what do you all want to eat, or, you know, things like that. And we would come back tired from a whole day shoot, and everything would be ready for us to eat. So we'd just go up, shower quickly, and come back and sit down and just eat over there. So it was wonderful. That whole experience and that whole feeling. I think today many directors have come into Yash Raj. Many directors have made films for Yash Raj, but I don't think they've been fortunate enough to have experienced the hospitality of Paimanti or going on a recce with Yashji. So, like we went for a recce to Switzerland and to Austria. And Yashji would be like, okay, where are we now? He'd ask the driver, where are we now? He'd say, we're in XYZ village. He said, okay, so now after 20 minutes, this other village will come. In that village, there is this restaurant and they serve beautiful grilled fish. So we're going to stop there for lunch and have grilled fish.
Oh, nice.
And we'd do that. And then again, we'd go for the recce, look around the place, everything. Then he'd say, okay, where are we now? He'd say, we are here. He said, okay, in half an hour, we'll enter this town. And in that town, there is this hotel, which is run by this Swiss gentleman. And we'll go and stay in his hotel.
So basically, he knew anything, everything and anything from there.
Yeah. Switzerland, Yashji knew everything. There's a lake named after him. They put up a statue for him in Switzerland. And these are the reasons why. Because he was just so at home. And if he would forget anything, then he'd call up Uday and ask him. Because Google wasn't that popular. We didn't have roaming in those days. It was just, 14 years back, but there was no roaming. There was no, Google was not that efficient. And we didn't have smartphones.
Correct.
We definitely, we didn't have smartphones. So where would you check all these things on the road? But Yashji had it all over here in his head.
So life was simpler actually with him. So you said, Yashji would say the most humorous things at times. Could you maybe cite an incident or something that you remember? Something that, really funny that he'd said?
No, I can't. Some of them are embarrassing. But he was just so, but it's just things like this, and just the, okay, so once there was, I think Sharmishta Roy was the art director. So, I don't really remember, but it was just, it was just so many things that he just said and did, and the way he looked after all of us, and which was just made every aspect of filmmaking fun and heartfelt and gave memories to last a lifetime.
Wow. So 14 years on, Hrithik has gone on to become like this huge superstar, mega star, and Kareena and Rani have also done fairly well in their lives. So how do you think, considering you work them really?
There are some other people from Mujhse Dosti Karoge behind the scenes who've become very big. Hrithik, Kareena, Rani, of course, were big even then. They've become even bigger. So one of my assistants was Siddharth Anand, who's become a big filmmaker. Yeah. He directed Bang Bang and Salam Namaste and all. Another assistant was Neil Nitin Mukesh. He's of course an actor. So Neil was also an assistant during Mujhse Dosti Karoge.
I don't think a lot of people knew that about Neil Nitin Mukesh.
Yeah, he was an assistant during Mujhse Dosti Karoge. In fact, he was for one of the shots we used him as a double for Hrithik also.
Really?
Yeah, in one of the songs we had to, I think in Jaane Dil Mein Kab Se Hai Tu.
Okay.
We used him as a double for Hrithik, and he was very upset. He said, no, I can't do this. I have to become an actor. I want to become an actor. I can't make my debut like this. I said, you idiot, you're not making your debut. We're not seeing your face. We are not seeing your face. It's just your body. Just shut up and do the shot. So Neil was there. Then Mamta, Siddharth's wife, was also working on the film.
Okay.
She became a big costume designer in Bollywood. She did a lot of costumes for a lot of films.
Okay.
She did Amir's costumes for Fana. and a lot of other films she did costumes. Then she got married to Siddharth. Who else was
So there was a love story also brewing on your set.
There was a love story brewing on the sets between Siddharth and Mamta. So yeah, so I think from the team of Mujhse Dosti Karoge, we've got a director, we've got a costume director, we've got a costume designer, we've got an actor, and they were all my ADs during Mujhse Dosti Karoge.
Oh, wow,
That was fun.
So, but my question actually to you was that these three, how do you think they've evolved as actors? Although they've become really huge, but you worked with them really early on in their careers.
Well, I think all three of them were fantastic directors even at the start of my career, because they were anyway big stars at that time. Hrithik was, of course, the superstar of the country. He's really evolved, but Hrithik was evolved as an actor even in his first film. So he's just grown from strength to strength. Bebo again has really grown and matured as an actress. She's really gone through wonderful shades as an actress. Rani is, a legend of an actress, powerhouse of a talent. I think that era that Rani was in films, and I hope she comes back soon. She's just had a baby and everything, and I hope she comes back soon. Will be known as the era of Rani Mukerji. And after Mujhse Dosti Karoge, we did Hum Tum together.
Okay.
And of course, Hum Tum got her first Best Actress award. And she never looked back in terms of awards after that. That year, in fact, when she got Best Actress award for Hum Tum, she got Best Supporting Actress for Veer Zara.
Correct.
Which I think has very rarely happened in the history of Indian films or anywhere in the world where an actress wins Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress in the same year.
And since you've mentioned that, I am tempted to mention that you beat practically SG to get a Best Director award, right?
You can't beat anybody. You can't beat someone like SG. I got lucky. The jury was on my side, so it just happened.
Okay.
So there was one thing I saw thankfully I saw this very early on in my career. Before I became a filmmaker, I saw Nasir Hussain, who I really love as a filmmaker, getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. And Nasir Hussain went on stage and received his Lifetime Achievement Award, and I was dying to hear what he says. And he took his award and he said, "Achhi filmein bas ban jati hai," and he walked off. And I'm hearing him, I'm saying, huh? That's all he said. Achhi filmein bas ban jati hain. And I thought, maybe he's old, he's tired, doesn't know what to say anymore, tired of speaking, doesn't want to talk, not happy getting a Lifetime Achievement, maybe wanted more Best Director awards.
Right.
Then when I became a filmmaker, I realized that his sentence is actually so true. Achhi filmein bas ban jati hain. No one starts off to make a bad film. No one starts off to make a film that doesn't work. Achhi filmein bas ban jati hain. And all through every day that I go on set or I am writing a film, I remember Nasir Hussain's words, "Achhi filmein bas ban jati hain."
Wow. So, August is supposed to be the month of friendship. Mujhse Dosti Karoge. Again, a film about friendship. So today, at least, I'm tempted to ask. So, did you guys actually plan? अच्छा friendship के महीने में अब हम film
No. We just thought 15th August weekend will be a good weekend. We'll make some more money. That's all we thought.
Okay.
That's all. That was the only reason we thought.
That was the only logic.
Yeah. And of course, we are all the title. If you really want to know where the title came,
I was actually going to ask you that. Thank you.
So the title came from Bobby, the film Bobby,
Achha,
where
okay.
she says, where Dimple Kapadia's character Bobby, when she meets Rishi Kapoor for the first time, she says, "Hi, I'm Bobby. Mujhse Dosti Karoge."
Right.
So that's where we got the title from.
Wow.
And from Bobby, I think I got my second title also, "Hum Tum Ek Kamre Mein Band Ho." But that's just a generic thing.
And then Fana also came from there.
Fana didn't come from any Raj Kapoor film, but yeah. So.
Okay, so these days it's become a trend that there are sequels that are coming. In fact, most recently they've been news that Jodwa 2 is going to be coming along, and that's practically 20 years after it came out. So any plans on having a sequel to Mujhse Dosti Karoge, maybe Mujhse Dosti Karoge 2? Given that the generation has changed, given that the way we think we've changed.
Well, actually, Mujhse Dosti Karoge, some people felt was a little ahead of its times in terms of the emails and everything. And talking about things like that. So maybe at that time when there were no multiplexes and all, we were talking about emails and stuff. So maybe that's what didn't connect with people, that the base of the film started on emails, so it didn't connect with people at that time. I don't know, but plans for a sequel for Mujhse Dosti Karoge, No, I don't think so. I don't think it lends itself to a sequel, though I think the title is wonderful. And it's a young title, it's a fresh title, it's a title that works anytime and every time. So maybe like how Ashiki was made, it's a good idea to do a series of Mujhse Dosti Karoge films on friendship and romance and love and friends falling in love. Yeah, but that's up to
So no direct continuation from the story, but then again you're maybe saying हो सकता है हम film बनाएं, but maybe with a fresh story.
Well, it would need a fresh story. It would need a fresh story on friends turning lovers. Or friends falling in love.
So you spoke about emails and stuff. I'm just very tempted to ask you that उससे पहले एक फिल्म आई थी मैंने प्यार किया जहाँ पे हमारे कबूतर जो है लव लेटर्स लेके जाते हैं. So do you think कि the audience was still in that zone कि यार emails से हमको कबूतर ज़्यादा पता है?
Yeah, maybe they wanted a kabutar there, but sometimes it's just that like there are certain things which one looks back and wonders that. Did that work? Did it not work? Like now when I see that sindoor falling on Rani's mang, I cringe. I was like, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? And we loved it at that time. We thought, "Arey wah, kya filmy pana hai, this, that and all." And now when I see that, I cringe and I say, what were you thinking, Kunal? How can sindoor, his hand gets burnt on the flame and then he puts his hand and it touches the sindoor and the sindoor falls on her head. I was like,
so maybe do you pacify
embarrassed. I'm actually embarrassed by that shot.
So don't you pacify yourself saying that कोई बात नहीं अच्छी फिल्में बन जाती हैं
और ऐसी mistakes भी हो जाती है.
Okay.
But और ऐसे embarrassing things in films हो जाते हैं. But I think you gotta be frank enough to accept that okay, that was a cringeworthy moment. And because sometimes people come up to me and say, how could you make such a cool progressive film like Hum Tum and then make a regressive film like Mujhse Dosti Karoge? I was like, yeah, well, it just happens. And I think like what I liked about Cocktail, like Cocktail just put subjects like Mujhse Dosti Karoge on its head and said, that you like me and I like her and she likes me and okay, now this is it. Now what do we do? Now, if that was just done in the midpoint of Mujhse Dosti Karoge, it would have been so much easier and so much more a fresher film instead of this whole love triangle thing. So I think fortunately people were fed up of love triangles by that time. Okay. Otherwise, we would have continued making them.
Okay.
And I actually, take success and failure both with a pinch of salt. Like had Mujhse Dosti Karoge become a blockbuster hit or become a cult film like Hum Tum, I might not have made a Hum Tum. I might have become a regressive filmmaker. So because Mujhse Dosti Karoge didn't get the reaction we wanted and didn't do the box office numbers we hoped it would do, I was forced to think differently. I was forced to think more progressive. I was forced to think more cooler, more with the times or more ahead of the times.
Okay.
So I think you got to learn from every lesson in life.
Agreed. That's a fact. So, let's say that you have the same story as Mujhse Dosti Karoge, maybe with a little bit of difference. And
there'll be a lot of differences in the film. There'll be a lot of difference in Mujhse Dosti Karoge today. Like, first of all, a love triangle, I feel, is outdated. Okay. Because you just got to be like what happened in Cocktail. You just got to sit down and tell people that, okay, this is it. And if this whole sacrificing thing of, for my friend, I will sacrifice my love, it's nice, but it has to be done very differently. Okay. It has to be done I'm not saying that we should create a generation where people don't sacrifice their love. I think it's the most wonderful thing to sacrifice love. Though I doubt today's generation will approve of something like that, but it has to be fed to them in a very different way.
So sacrifice has to be cooler, maybe?
Sacrifice has to be cooler, but cool is just a very loosely used term. So people thought brands are cool. Then Rang De Basanti showed that Desi cool is also something, where there were no brands shown in Rang De Basanti, but it was still a cool film. Hum Tum didn't show any brands, and Hum Tum was a cool film. The way they talk in Hum Tum is very normal. It's a mix of Hindi and English. And it was, so that makes it a cool film. So cool is very different, but I'm saying just that, sacrifice should be shown in a very different way today. Right. So if I was to write a love triangle or write a similar story to Mujhse Dosti Karoge, I would write it very differently.
Okay. And if you were to make it with the current crop of actors, with the new, fresh generation of actors, so who would be the three actors in place of, say, Hrithik, Kareena and Rani?
But I think first of all, Hrithik, Kareena and Rani can all three still do the film. But if I was to do it with the current crop of actors, Varun or Ranveer would be, very good choices to play the role of Raj. And Shraddha would be wonderful to play Rani's role. Shraddha or Alia would be wonderful to play Rani's role.
And Kareena?
Kareena's role, well, Alia could play Kareena's role as well.
She fits into both actually.
Yeah, maybe we should make Judwa with Alia and use Mujhse Dosti Karoge's storyline and make a Judwa version of Alia.
I think you just give Mr. Nadyadwala a new idea. So that could either be the story for Judwa 3 maybe.
Sajid, call me.
So yeah, who would be the third actor? So let's say Alia for Kareena and then who for Rani?
Shraddha.
Shraddha. Okay, all right. So now we'll do a quick rapid fire round with you, where some more nostalgia, but this time maybe going a little into your personal life as well. So, how many girls came to you after Mujhse Dosti Karoge and said, "Kunal Saab, aap Mujhse Dosti karenge"? And if you remember any of them, and if you would like to name any of them.
Many.
It's rapid fire. Many. Oh,
Many.
That's nice. Okay, so would you like to name anyone?
No.
Any interesting experiences that you had? Maybe you'd like to share without. Let's say we'll call her, Miss X. And then
No.
okay. Rani or Kareena, the better actress?
Oh, damn. Oh, damn.
It's rapid fire, so you'll have to be like.
Rani.
Okay. Hrithik Roshan or Saif Ali Khan, the better actor?
Get out of my office.
Okay. Okay. Awards or box office collection, what matters more?
I want both. I want everything. Like, I got both in Hum Tum. I didn't get both in Fana. I got only box office in Fana. I didn't get any awards in Fana. I think both. I can't choose one or the other. I will never choose one over the other.
So both are equally important.
Yeah. Both are equally important.
Okay. And one actor or actresses you would want to direct?
One. There's a whole list.
Okay, so 3 actors from an old generation and 3 actors from a new generation that you'd like to direct.
Now that's a better one. Okay, so from you can't say old generation because they're still there.
No, I mean old generation as in I mean from the time of Raj Kapoor Saab and everyone. I was actually giving you a longer range, but okay. Okay, so
let's say current.
Okay, current.
Current who are currently acting.
Current.
And who have not worked with or who have worked with?
That's up to you. Or you've not worked with. Let's make it simpler. Otherwise, then you'll play safe, no?
Because see, I've worked with Amir, Hrithik, Saif, Shahid, Rani, Kajol, Bebo, Priyanka. So I've worked with this. So the people I've not worked with.
Right.
Okay. So 3 of the 40 plus actors who I've worked with, who have not worked with, 3 40 plus actors who have not worked with and I want to work with. Salman, Shah Rukh, Akshay Kumar.
Okay.
3 of the under 40 actors who have not worked with and I want to work with. Ranveer, Varun, Arjun.
Okay. That's 3 and 3.
3 younger actresses, under 40 actresses who have not worked with. Alia, Shraddha, Deepika. I've not directed.
Okay.
Deepika.
You produced a film, but you did not direct her.
I've produced a film with Deepika, but I've not directed her. Oh wait, for the actors, sorry. Wait, I'm changing my list for the actors.
Okay.
Ranveer, Ranbir,
Arjun and Varun, you already said.
Ranbir. Yeah, I'm really throwing you out of my office here. Just get out. Get out.
I did not say you could only limit to 3. It could be more.
So then I want to direct all of them because there's so much good talent.
Right.
I want to work with Hrithik again. I want to work with Saif again. I want to work with Amir again. I want to work with Kajol again. I've not worked with Salman, Shah Rukh, Akshay Kumar. I've not worked with Ranveer, Varun, Arjun, Siddharth. I want to work with them. I've not worked with Alia and Shraddha. I think they're wonderful actresses. I've not worked with Deepika. I want to work with her. Okay. So yeah, it's a long.
So there's hardly any actor remaining now.
Yeah. That's true.
All right. Thank you so much for talking to us. We have a small surprise for you. We've got a cake as a 14-year celebration, and
Oh, thank you.
so we'll just probably tell the, yeah, there it
The
is.
cake facing. It's such a wonderful
Ting
cake.
ting ting ting. Oh, I can't
I
sing the
don't
song.
feel like cutting it, but I'll just cut it from the side. So I'll just take this. No, I don't feel like cutting my own poster. Yeah.
Maybe you could, say cut it from here a little bit and still keep the poster intact. Celebrating 14 years, though.
There. That's cutting it fine. That's cutting it fine. No. You're very shameless. Ladies first. Although they're off camera, so what?
Well, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. On that note, I hope you go again, watch the film because I will. Thank you so much. Please let us know what you think about the video. Thank you. Bye bye.